guys, happy Sunday. Allie Marie here with My Catholic Perspective. This is going to be my final public current events video blog. I am moving current events totally over to Patreon, and every Sunday will be the goal of posting chatting about whatever's been going on in the media or new music videos that are coming out, whatever's current events is just going to be over on Patreon, because it has been very difficult dealing with just debating with a lot of people on current event issues, because I think that it is very highly emotional at this point. There will obviously be some that have some crossover, so there will be some moments where I will maybe integrate a current event into a demonstration of a catechetical example that I am providing. But this channel will primarily, my Thursday videos at 3 p.m. will be on what doctrine teaches, whether it's about salvation or purgatory or the communion of saints or just anything Catholic, baptism, circumcision, natural family planning, the whole gamut. And so if you're interested in that, subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But otherwise, over on Patreon, I will have an additional video every Sunday with other little updates in between, where we'll talk about current events. And right now, until the end of July, so you have another week and a half left, I am running a promotion over there for, if you sign up at the $3 a month tier, that membership, you'll get a personal note in the mail from me with a prayer card. So the prayer card that's going out right now to all new patrons is a prayer against the coronavirus. And it was sent to, I got a handful from one of my current patrons, and it's just a positive prayer that we would have peace and trust God, essentially. And yeah, so if you're interested in that little prayer card and getting a little letter from me just with $3 a month for the membership would be great. That's usually a personal letter is at the $12 tier, and then you get a letter every month. So, and you also do a Skype call or Google Meet or Zoom, whatever platform is easiest for you. But we do that at the $12 tier, and so I've been working away at those over the last couple weeks, and but yeah, so this will be, I wanted to do one last current event video on the public channel so that you know what type of content is getting moved over to Patreon if you wanted to be a member over there for Sundays, and otherwise we're going to focus on what the church teaches about different pieces of doctrine on this channel. So getting into woke culture, though. So I did a Skype call today, yesterday. Today's actually Saturday, but it's Sunday to you. So but I did a Skype call today with one of my patrons, and we were talking a little bit about woke culture, and I'm like, I'm kind of out of the loop on what it even means. I don't really know how deep it goes or whatever else, and a quick Google search tells anyone just kind of the basis of it. So woke, stay woke is it's derived from an African American English vernacular is what it's called, from where it comes from, and it basically means that you are aware of social injustices. So the primary, it's become a lot more left slang in 2014 is when it really became popular with the Black Lives Matters movement, which, I have posted publicly on that, and is one, there's a lot of energy around the two sides right now. But so 2014 became really popular, and now it's kind of developed into just this kind of left slang liberal ideology of, being pro-LGBTQ, of being pro-female rights, of being, standing with Black Lives Matters. So, pro-choice, all these things. And it's basically, I watched a couple different videos of people talking about what it means to them to be woke, and it's essentially how they view it is, like one lady said, It means that you're just outraged all the time. It means that you are just always upset that these injustices aren't being fixed and that they're perpetually there. And so you are just always aware of it, and you are like, your eyes have been opened to the fact that all of this is going on around you. And so from a Catholic perspective, the idea of this woke culture, like, I think it's a good thing to be aware of injustice, of social injustice. I think it is a good thing to be aware of when certain sects of humanity are being discriminated against to the point of like being persecuted to death, being tortured. We are all human. We are all worthy of dignity and respect, and we are given free will to choose what we do. However, when it comes to the stay woke culture, it does not always view God as the center of how to resolve the injustices. So, and I understand that, you know, you talk about free will, but then you talk about God, and they seem like two different things, because free will means you can choose to not believe that there is a God. But there is that element of, like in the Bible, so many miraculous healings were the blind men or women and their eyes being opened, and they see the truth. And so when eyes are opened, when, you know, as a Catholic, I believe the Holy Spirit intercedes. I believe seeds are planted. I believe that God is always working, that, you know, I lived in, you know, a heavy amount of sin when I was in college. It was not, you know, I had to fill out a new doctor paperwork thing recently, and it's like, have you had substance abuse? Have you done this? Have you done that? And it's like, yeah, I was with the wrong crowd. It's like, I don't think I have an actual like issue with alcohol. You know, now that I don't hang out with the people that I hung out with in college, I do not drink like I used to, and I don't have any problem with it. And so a lot of it is just like, yep, wrong crowd. Like, I was with the wrong crowd. And while it was still my choice, I was still surrounding myself, you know, run with a skunk, smell like a skunk. And so with this woke culture, when our eyes are truly open, when God opens our eyes to see the dignity and humanity within every person and the respect that we are all deserving of, and, you know, that we are seeking love and wholeness and joy and all of those fruits of the Spirit, once that's seen, how to attain it changes. Because, you know, there's a difference between being happy and being joyful. And so when we're seeking in vain, or seeking, you know, as a victim, saying all of this is happening to me, and, you know, we're giving away the control of the situation by saying, you know, this is happening because that person is acting in that particular way, and if they weren't acting that way, I wouldn't be feeling this way. We're handing off control. And in a woke political culture, that's ultimately, you know, I mean, in some instances, in some countries, you know, if you come out and say that you're gay, you're executed. In the United States, that is not the case. You know, there you might feel uncomfortable, or, you know, like feel a perceived judgment, or there might be a cake shop that doesn't want to make your wedding cake for you. And there can be all types of different pieces, but so just, I don't know, there's just that element that's really sticking with me about eyes opening. Like, oh, in the Bible, eyes are open to truth, and then suddenly they see, and then they follow Jesus. They say, oh wow, like, you actually know a thing or two, and you've demonstrated yourself to view me, you know, an outcast, an undesirable, to be worthy of your time and of your healing. And I don't think anything speaks more powerfully than that. And so when we get into this idea of woke culture, it ends up being in vain almost, that we would be seeking, you know, and someone can look at me, I'm sorry, like, someone can look at me and say, oh, well, you just experienced white privilege. It's so easy for you to say as a cisgendered white girl. You know, I've gotten that time and time again. I can guarantee that somebody has probably stopped watching the video, or maybe you're still watching it and you'll comment saying that. Like, I will get comments saying this. And that's why, part of the reason why I'm moving current events over to Patreon, because I just don't want to deal with it anymore, to be quite honest. It's not worth my time. I do feel like I am empathetic and sympathetic with those who think differently than me. I fully believe that everybody has the right to free choice. I'm just saying that your choice might not bring you the joy that you're looking for. You know, your goals and aspirations, while good-hearted and with good intentions, they just might not bring you the fulfillment and satisfaction that you're looking for. In the particular Skype call that I'm talking about here, one of the issues I have with the whole female rights stuff is people are like, oh, well, men and women are equal. They should be treated the exact same. And the idea of something like that passing in Congress, the idea of something, some amendment to the Constitution or whatever, trying to say that, like, women have to enroll in the military because they're the same as men, I cannot imagine if legislature like that passed and somebody tried telling me that I had to enroll in the military with a newborn and that, I could stay home with my newborn until they were 6 weeks old or something like that, but then they had to go to a nanny because, I live in a country now that women are viewed the exact same as men and I'm obligated to go overseas. Like, I'm sorry, but different is not bad. Women, like the yin and the yang, this is what we talked about today, the yin and the yang, it has the white and the black's the yang, the white's the yin, and yeah, in America we say yang, yin and yang, right? But it's yin and yang. But even within it, the dots, like, it's complementary. There's the nature versus the nurture, and there's the masculine versus the feminine, and just because they're different doesn't mean it's bad. And so, like, I am definitely more nurturing. I am more observant. I am more, like, overall cleanly, although I might be a little more messy than my husband. I'm more cleanly. And just, like, different, there's just different elements of the masculine versus feminine thing. And I'm even, like, a more masculine female, I would say. I have, I talked about, you guys know, like, the higher testosterone. And it's just who I am, but I'm still feminine. Like, I still have more of those qualities, and I cannot imagine being told that I have to go to the military and leave my children behind for the sake of equality, for the sake of being woke, that females need to be more equal, when really we are. I mean, when we were looking for our car, I found a car this week. I've shared that on Patreon, but we found a car for me, and every dealership we went to, like, I'd get an older guy and he'd be like, well, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I would want to find a car that I would feel comfortable selling to my daughter. And the first guy who said it, I looked at him and I was like, by all means, please do. Look at me and take every vulnerability you can. Like, I do not care. Please do, like, take care of me. Because I'm not going to get offended that he looks at me as, like, a girl that might be, I call AAA when my tire goes flat. And so what? I don't care if I get put in that stereotype. I don't feel offended that somebody would say that they, have this, like, softened heart for a female who, isn't as strong as a man, who's super pregnant, who this and that. Like, there's just, I don't know, there's something about embracing who we are and just accepting that and being content with that, because there was very likely a time in my life back when I was in college when I had more of this, like, woke philosophy, probably not by the guidelines, but, like, that I would have been offended and I would have been like, I'm just as good as any guy. Like, what do you mean you're going to look at me like your daughter? No, like, sell it to me like a man. And so it just, I don't know. So I've just kind of been thinking a lot about that since the Skype call, since kind of chatting about it. And I know that it's not the popular opinion, that I'm in the silent majority, and I just wanted to share this with you today. just to give you some perspective on, you know, if you are a part of the woke culture and you're looking to dialogue about it, like, I'd be more than happy to like chat with you, as long as it's in a respectful manner. I am not a disrespectful person. I do not agree with name calling. I do not like swearing. There is no name calling or swearing on this channel, so if anybody does, their comment is deleted, and then you can post a comment saying how you're upset that I deleted your comment, but I promise you it wasn't for the content or the point you were trying to make. It would have been for name calling or cursing. So so just bear all of that in mind. And if you do, you know, one of the things that I have been struggling with is like monetization and everything else. My goal over on Patreon is to reach $500 a month that I can contribute to household income. So, you know, every dollar helps. And there are different goals. We have a live stream rosary coming up, a full scriptural rosary where, you know, there are 20 mysteries, so 20 patrons, those are the 20 patrons at the time, will get dedicated. And then once we reach 40 patrons, so we're 19 short, but once we reach 40 patrons, even if you're all $1 a month, that's perfectly fine, we're gonna do a 40-day devotional. And we'll do that together, probably The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, or there might be something else that comes up that would be substantial. But that's kind of the goal that we're working toward as a community, is to reach 40 people, and then we'll start this, it'll probably be through Google Meet, that we'll meet maybe once a week, or however that ends up playing out. Maybe I'll do a couple sessions or whatever, I don't know. Cross that bridge when we get there. Right now we're organizing the full scriptural rosary live stream, so that'll be coming soon as well, but that'll be on my public channel. So but otherwise, if you are interested in joining as a member over there, I'd be happy to have you. The conversations, you know, there are 2 Sunday videos that are also available that have already been posted that are not public. And you can feel free to join the discussion over there as well. They have to do with, like the coronavirus and something else, I don't remember. But there were things that, you know, the current events. So I do hope to get to know you a little bit over there if you choose to check it out. But otherwise, I am intrigued to see what kind of conversation comes forward from this, since it is public again, and this is typically the type that I would put on Patreon. So be kind always, and may God grant you the resources that you need to draw closer to Him and to those around you, and I hope that you are able to make it a great day. We'll see you in the comments, maybe over on Patreon, but otherwise next week Thursday at 3 o'clock.